The history of Ireland dates back to prehistoric times, with evidence of human settlement dating back to 7000 BCE. The Celts arrived in Ireland around 600 BCE and established a culture that lasted until the arrival of the English in the 12th century CE. In the 5th century, Christianity was introduced to Ireland by St. Patrick, and the country became a centre of religious learning and scholarship. During the Middle Ages, Ireland was divided into many small kingdoms and was frequently invaded by Vikings, Normans, and other foreign powers. In the late 16th century, English colonization began, and Ireland was subject to English rule for the next several centuries. This period was marked by frequent uprisings and rebellions against English rule, including the Easter Rising of 1916, which led to the establishment of the Irish Free State in 1922. In 1949, the Irish Free State declared itself a republic and withdrew from the British Commonwealth. In the late 20th century, the Troubles, a period of conflict between Northern Ireland's Catholic and Protestant communities, led to widespread violence and political turmoil. Today, Ireland is a modern, prosperous nation that is a member of the European Union and has a vibrant economy and culture. The country has a rich history and heritage that is celebrated around the world, including its literature, music, and art. Ireland is an island nation located in Western Europe. It has a rich and complex history, spanning thousands of years. Here is a brief overview of the history of Ireland. Prehistory: the earliest known human presence in Ireland dates back to around 400 BC. The island was inhabited by various groups of people, including the Celts, who arrived around 500 BC. The Celts brought with them their own language and culture, which would eventually form the basis of Irish identity. Christianity: in the 5th century AD, Christianity was introduced to Ireland by St. Patrick. The Irish embraced Christianity and built monasteries, which became centers of learning and culture. The Book of Kells, a famous illuminated manuscript, was created during this time. Viking invasions: in the 9th century, the Vikings began raiding Ireland's coast. They eventually established settlements in Dublin, Waterford, and other areas. The Vikings had a significant impact on Irish culture and society, introducing new technologies and trading goods. Norman conquest: in 1169, the Normans invaded Ireland, led by Strongbow. They established control over much of the island and built castles and fortifications. The Norman invasion led to a long period of English influence in Ireland. English rule: in the 16th and 17th centuries, England gained complete control over Ireland. This period was marked by widespread oppression and conflict. The English imposed laws and taxes on the Irish, and attempted to suppress Irish culture and language. Irish Rebellion: in 1916, a group of Irish nationalists led a rebellion against British rule. Although the rebellion was initially unsuccessful, it sparked a renewed interest in Irish independence. Independence: in 1921, Ireland was granted independence from Britain, although 6 counties in the north remained under British control. This led to decades of conflict, known as the Troubles, which lasted until the late 1990s. Today, Ireland is a modern, thriving nation with a rich cultural heritage. The country is known for its literature, music, and art, as well as its stunning natural landscapes. Ireland has a rich and complex history dating back thousands of years. Here's a brief overview. Prehistory: Ireland's first inhabitants were hunter-gatherers who arrived around 800 BC. Over time, these people developed a rich culture, building monuments such as Newgrange and Knowth. Celtic Ireland: in the 4th century BC, Celtic tribes from Europe began to settle in Ireland. These tribes, known as the Gaels, introduced their language, customs, and religion to Ireland. The Gaels eventually became the dominant group on the island. Christian Ireland: in the 5th century AD, St. Patrick arrived in Ireland and began to spread Christianity. Over time, Ireland became a center of Christian learning and culture. Monasteries were established throughout the country, and Irish monks played an important role in preserving classical texts during the Dark Ages. Norman invasion: In 1169, a group of Norman knights invaded Ireland, beginning centuries of English involvement in Irish affairs. Over time, the English gained control of much of Ireland, though resistance continued. Plantations. In the 16th and 17th centuries, English and Scottish settlers were brought to Ireland in an effort to plant the country with loyal Protestants. This led to the displacement of many Irish Catholics and the creation of an Anglo-Irish ruling class. Irish Rebellion. In 1798, Irish rebels rose up against British rule in what became known as the United Irishmen Rebellion. Though the rebellion was ultimately unsuccessful, it inspired future generations of Irish nationalists. Famine. In the mid-19th century, Ireland was hit by a devastating famine caused by the failure of the potato crop. This led to the death or emigration of millions of Irish people and had a lasting impact on the country. Home rule. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Irish nationalists began to push for home rule, or greater autonomy from Britain. The movement gained momentum, and in 1921, Ireland was partitioned into two separate entities, the mostly Protestant Northern Ireland, which remained part of the United Kingdom, and the predominantly Catholic Irish Free State, which became independent. Troubles. In the late 20th century, sectarian violence erupted in Northern Ireland between Catholics and Protestants, leading to a period of conflict known as the Troubles. The violence eventually subsided with the signing of the Good Friday Agreement in 1998. Today, Ireland is a modern, prosperous country with a rich cultural heritage and a strong sense of national identity. The history of Ireland dates back thousands of years, with evidence of human settlements dating back to around 4000 BC. The island has a rich history of Celtic culture and influence, and was later colonized by the Vikings, Normans, and English. In the 16th century, English influence in Ireland began to grow, and the country was divided into Protestant and Catholic factions. This led to a series of conflicts and uprisings, culminating in the 1916 Easter Rising, in which Irish nationalists rebelled against British rule. After a series of negotiations and conflicts, Ireland was granted independence from Britain in 1921, with the creation of the Irish Free State. However, the country remained divided, with the northern province of Ulster remaining under British rule as Northern Ireland. The following decade saw ongoing tensions and violence between Irish nationalist groups and British forces, particularly in Northern Ireland, in what became known as the Troubles. A peace agreement, the Good Friday Agreement, was finally reached in 1998, leading to a power-sharing government in Northern Ireland and a decrease in violence. Today, Ireland is a sovereign nation with a diverse culture and economy, known for its literature, music, and picturesque landscapes. The country remains divided between the independent Republic of Ireland in the south and
I-click ang notification bell, like, share and subscribe. Salamat sa panonood.